To folks, a very good morning to you all. If I may please get your attention and insist that we all settle in our seats so we can kick off the program ever so swiftly. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Proverb. I will be your host and program director. I'm also a full-time student, and I cannot wait to tell you all about my journey. I'm just going to give my esteemed panel an opportunity to settle in their seats, and then I shall officially kick off the program. Otherwise, a very good morning to you all, and a very special good morning as well to all of those that are joining us online. Thank you so much for making the time, for engaging with us to come and find out all that we can about Regenesys and how we can start laying the building blocks for our future. Thank you, all of the guests. Any students here? Any matriculants who've just completed? Who do I have in attendance? I just want to tell sort of who it is that's with me. I see there's definitely some parents here. Yeah, and I see we definitely have some future graduates here as well. But to all of you, again, thank you so much. Please allow me to extend our gratitude to the Dean of Regenesys, who happens to be here on my panel, as well as to Indrani Reddy, who's the Chief Operations Officer. But also joining my esteemed panel here, we've got a distinguished guest, Mr. Elijah Mhlanga, who happens to be the Chief Director Media at the Department of Basic Education. Please join me and let's give them a warm round of applause as we welcome them. May I be so tardy and to ask you to give yourselves a round of applause, because I think taking the time to attend the Regenesys Open Day really says where your mind is, says what your intentions are for not only 2023 but beyond as well. So please give yourselves a massive round of applause. Now, before I introduce my first speaker, please allow me, if I may, to share a little bit about myself. One, in my personal capacity, but probably of more interest to you, about my journey as a full-time student here at Regenesys Business School. So just by way of introduction and a little bit of a background, I am an entertainer. What does that even mean, right? Anyway, I'm an entertainer. I am host and co-executive producer of a television show called South African Idols. As you know, we've been going for 18 seasons, hoping for a 19th. I'm also a radio content provider slash host for a drive time show on the Metro FM, which is weekdays 12 to 3 alongside my co-host LKG. I'm a published author. I serve on the board of SAMRO, the South African Music Rights Organization, and have varying interests, including, property and, some business initiatives that I run. But what is potentially of most interest to you is that I'm a full-time student at Regenesys Business School. And how I manage it all, you may ask, with everything I have on the plate, is actually one of the great, unique selling points about Regenesys Business School that I want to tell you all about. And that is, the ability to, learn online. There's obviously an in-contact as well, but I take full advantage of the online facility, purely by way of accommodating my, schedule, which changes every single minute. In my line of work, you can get a call and all of a sudden your schedule changes. So the one thing that I'm really grateful for is how Regenesys Business School is not only able to accommodate me, but the support that I've enjoyed, because there's always unforeseens, as I mentioned. In fact, if I may share, just recently, I had to do my second year final exams, right? And you can imagine end of the year between the gigs and suddenly the business trips and it overlapping with the exam time. So they've been very gracious to be able to accommodate me, and they can offer you the same as well. It's that constant support, that holding your hand, that walking you through the journey and ensuring that, we make it through to the end. So I think that deserves a round of applause, man. Hey? But to further give us the lay of the land and perhaps to better explain and set the tone for today and the proceedings for this morning, please join me now. Let's welcome Ms. Indrani Reddy, who is our CEO. Another round of applause, please.
Good morning, Gautengers. How are you this morning? I'm going to say it again. Good morning, Gautengers. How are you today? Welcome to the future graduates of Regenesys Business School, and welcome to our online participants as well. Thank you again for taking out this time to find out who we are. And who are we? I have this fabulous job to tell you about a purposeful company, an organization that I represent here today. Regenesys was founded some 25 years ago by Dr. Marco Shadavania, Dr. Penny Law, and Mr. William Vivian, who still remain our shareholders. The purpose of Regenesys really is summed up in wanting to make the world a better place through conscious leaders and managers. How do we go about this? Regenesys believes in the 5Q philosophy. We believe that inherently every human being is endowed with IQ to achieve their greatest potential. But in order to do that, we also firmly believe that IQ is not enough. That in order to develop and become your best version, that you need other quotients in your life. And this is where we talk about emotional quotient. You've heard it. In the last 2 or 3 decades, EQ has become very topical. Why is EQ important? Over and above being able to analyze data, function from a left brain, fundamentally, as human beings, we connect socially. And if we ever thought that we didn't connect socially, the pandemic taught us otherwise. For those that loved being isolated, when you were challenged beyond the 3 months and it went into 2 years, all of a sudden, being alone was not that great anymore, right? And we were craving interaction. This is what EQ is about. EQ is about learning about yourself. Once you have the ability to have an awareness of self and develop this, you become master of the self. When you're a master of yourself, you're able to influence others. Now, I want to put that practically into a team environment in any organization and even entrepreneurship. Regenesys is huge on endorsing entrepreneurship. With EQ, you're able to, once you master yourself and lead self, you're able to influence others. This means that you're now ready to function effectively as a manager. Many people can be managers, but we know that people don't leave organizations, they leave managers, right? And so when you're an effective manager, you're able to have staff retention, attract better talent into your organization, and that improves productivity, all through EQ. What's next? Now you're striving to go into a C-suite role. C-suite role is beyond just impacting those that you lead. It's taking yourself to the next dimension, because this is about who am I really? If I gave you a little exercise to just step back and observe your thoughts, you're having thoughts and you're able to observe your thoughts. This is a lovely exercise that Eckhart Tolle introduced in meditation. And if you are observing your thoughts, are you really the same person? Right? So this is the question of who am I really? And we go into spiritual quotient in our modules. Our dean will talk about our academic gravitas, and these models will come out in how we facilitate with our students, how we transform. Underpinning all of this is really about purpose. And when you're about purpose in senior leadership, entrepreneurship, you're able to make impact on people's lives and how you lead them. So what am I contributing? What defines success for me? So now you've arrived, right? You're acquiring wealth, you got the title. What next? Financial quotient, right? You want to be financially independent, and so we teach financial quotient, and I'm not talking about finance management. In our ecosystem of companies, when I go through them, I'll talk about my wealth investment. So part of the Regenesys ecosystem for our students is one of our companies called My Wealth Investments, where we teach our students how to trade on the stock market. So not in your undergrad, not in your postgrad, but outside of this, while you're studying with us, you have the ability to trade like company. And this is really where we run, and it's championed by Maurice Slubbert, who is a sports scientist by profession. We focus on yoga, meditation, regeneration of the body, biokinetics. There's a golf club, there's a tennis club, hiking club. There's a whole number, right? So get in touch with us about that as well. In order to have a comprehensive suite of services to staff, students, and alumni, additional institutions were formed as part of the ecosystem of Regenesys, and I'm going to name a few of them. So we have the Regenesys Business School. You've come here to register from your highest certificate all the way to our doctorate programs. Then we have the School of Public Management. Our dean will touch on this, and this really is a replica of our business school, but from highest certificate to the master's qualification, specifically around public management in South Africa. So we'll thread in practical examples in our explanation and facilitation in our classrooms, because we have industry specialists that come from public sector. You'll meet Advocate Kevin Malunga, pick up your hand, right? Ex-public protector, that's with us. Our co-founder, Mr. William Vivian, I saw him here earlier as well, hails from the public sector in health in South Africa as well. Regenesys delivers cutting-edge, innovative solutions in the new digital world. We're known to have over 190,000 alumni in over 100 countries, 1,000 corporate clients, 100 faculty members, over 100 programs, and 3 campuses. You're sitting in one here, 165 West Street in Sandton for our online students. This is where we're broadcasting from. We have campuses in Lagos in Nigeria as well as India. One of the fastest growing and leading global institutes providing management and leadership development skills. Some of the other companies that are with us, our School of Law, our School of Security, My Wealth Investments that I spoke to you about, My Health Wellness Center, Denanda Talent. So we found that our students, when they graduate, or while you're studying with us, you're already, why did you take this journey? You're ready for something bigger, better. You're ready for something to take on that's a challenge. So our recruitment company, Denanda Talent, also helps you on your next career pathing. Now that's when you're already in a job. What about our graduates? We're sitting with a high unemployment rate in South Africa. So we assist our graduates through our system to be able to find jobs, internships, as well as in our program, electives on entrepreneurship as well. Digital Regenesys. This is our new baby on the block in our short learning programs. Digital Regenesys has launched technological programs like artificial intelligence, data science, robotics, machine learning, project management. These are short courses that really make our students future fit. The future is here, right? Not even future fit. We were talking about 4IR a few years ago. We're already in 5IR. How do we operate? You know, traditionally, CFOs, accountants, all of these were subject matter experts. Now you're no longer an expert if you don't have technology. Am I right? Right? The world has evolved technologically. So Regenesys brings this into the classroom through a different stream, through Digital Regenesys, and we're hoping that you will join us across our many faculties that we have in our different schools. I'm now going to hand over back to Proverb, who will then bring on our dean to tell you about our programs. We look forward to interacting with you person to person. Our academics are at the back, our student recruitment centers at the back of the room as well, waiting to hear from you. And there is a special voucher that's gone around. Now, the voucher that you get today says 20% off all programs. If you're here today, we're extending it to you that's online as well. Yes, you there that's online. You get it. But in addition to that, because Mr. Elijah has joined us from having announced the matric results this week, we realized that there's some, is it 62%? 62% of our matriculants that passed did not qualify for a bachelor pass. So at Regenesys today, for all of you that passed matric, but maybe feeling quite despondent because you don't qualify to have a bachelor qualification, if you connect with us today, we're giving you 30% off the highest certificate qualification. The highest certificate is a 1-year program that is your bridging program to go into a bachelor qualification the year after. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Over to you, Proverb.
Indirani, our COO, thank you so much. Always very inspirational, always very knowledgeable. And folks, please allow me to remind you that you're more than welcome to engage with our esteemed panel. One, during the program, but also afterwards, they'll be available if you want to engage as well. And of course, you can engage further with us on our social media platforms. We are at Regenesys Business School on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and it's at Regenesys B on Twitter, right? And as you engage, please use the various hashtags, which are hashtag Regenesys Business School, hashtag Be Awaken Your Potential, and hashtag Be More. All right. And I encourage you to keep a close eye on the social media platforms, because the very link and the very discounts that Indirani was talking about are going to surface there shortly. All right. So do keep an eye out for that. And now, folks, without any further ado, I am going to introduce our Dean of Regenesys. So please allow me to tell you a little bit about our Dean. Now, Mr. Kumalo is the Dean of Regenesys and has been with the organization since 2007. He's held various senior positions in the areas of knowledge management, material development, facilitation, master's research supervision, account management, and academic management. He's ensured the effective management, access, and maintenance and storage of knowledge in the form of learning materials, articles, research, case studies, assessments, and reports. Mind you, all of this sounds like my assignment, I must tell you, Dean, so you and I are going to chat after this. He also has a Master's of Arts degree in Humanities from Rhodes University and is currently working towards obtaining his doctorate. Please join me, folks, and let's welcome our Dean of Regenesys, Mr. Sibongiseni Khumalo. Massive round of applause, please.
Thank you, Proverb. Thank you. Good morning to all of you inside here and to those joining us online. It's such a pleasure to be with you this morning, and we're really honored to have you here. You could have been elsewhere better, but you're here with us. Also, just a warm welcome to our guest, Ms. Mhlanga. We really appreciate you joining us this morning. So mine is really to tell you about our programs. But before I go there, Ms. Reddy talked about making the world a better place. And making the world a better place through quality education really means change. It means transformation. And this change isn't going to happen overnight. This change is going to happen through us. So we become agents of change. And that means we got to have a certain level of being conscious that we are changing the world through our actions. And so today, we're going to help you, guide you, support you, make a decision. And the decision you're going to make today on what you're going to study further is really going to make a difference. Life will never be the same again. And so some of you may want to effect change in the field of business, in the area of business, in the business sector. And that's where people make a lot of money. That's where people run businesses. And we have programs here. My colleagues right at the back, both student recruitment teams as well as the academics who are academic heads of these programs I'm going to outline here, are all available to give you a bit more detail. But just to whet your appetite, we have a high certificate in business management. We have, the Bachelor of Business Administration. We have a postgraduate diploma in business administration, as well as our master's in business administration, MBA. And so people in this area are generally people who like to make money. They make the world a better place through what they generate and what they are able to do with the money they make. And of course, to tell you all about these programs, please inquire at the back. My colleagues are ready, available to assist you there. And these programs, starting from high certificate to masters, you get introduced to basic fundamental concepts, models, frameworks, and theories, and thinking behind thinking to help you and equip you to be able to understand how decisions are made and why decisions are made the way they are made. And of course, for some people, they may want to pursue a career in corporate. And that's the perfect space to be in, because you need to know, you need to be knowledgeable, you need to learn about this concept, and so that you are able to apply, accordingly when you get to the world of work. But obviously, as I'm mentioning, some of you may be keen on just entrepreneurship. Perfect space to be in, because you're going to be able to network with other like-minded individuals who will find in class. And so let me not take too much on that, but please do inquire. We have those business qualifications. My colleagues are ready from certificate to masters. So you have a wide variety there. But also, still talking about issue of making money, we have the School of Finance here. I've seen my colleagues. School of Finance offers BComt. That's the Bachelor of Accounting. Again, those are people who will teach you about money. Means already talked about financial quotient, FQ. We need to develop a healthy relationship with money. And that's the school that's there for that. It's going to educate you. It's going to show you how that's done in terms of understanding of accounting and accounting principles and all the details that go in there. And then, of course, that's for people who want to pursue career in accounting. It's a stepping stone to many other things. For some people may want to become financial directors, CAs, CFOs of companies. That's the space you want to be in. So my colleagues will tell you a bit more about that in terms of our BComt, bachelor's qualification that we offer within the School of Finance, BComt. And then again, some of you may want to make the world a better place through the field of law, which has been mentioned here. We have the School of Law or Law School offering LLB. Some people may want to go into this career. And you know a number of influential individuals who are lawyers or who have background in law. You don't necessarily have to be a practicing lawyer, but people who are advocates, who are magistrates, who are judges, have gone through this, who are public protectors and deputy public protectors. One of them was mentioned here, is heading the program. So go and talk to them. Ask the specific questions if you're so interested in the qualification Bachelor of Laws, LLB. We'll tell you a lot more about that in terms of the details and what you require, and But for me, is to tell you how it's going to benefit you. We need lawyers. I mean, law is relevant in all facets of life, and so you can't go wrong there. Even if it's used just as a tool of thinking, as the academic head for the school usually say, so be it. So please do inquire at the back. We have the School of Public Management also represented here by my colleagues. Today we're honored to have the principal of the school, Professor Kambo, is sitting right at the back there. Again, he's raising his hand. Thanks, Prof. And is assisted by a team of very capable student recruitment colleagues who are sitting at the back who will give you more detail. And in School of Public Management, we have again a higher certificate in public management, as well as a bachelor's of public management, postgraduate diploma in public management, as well as a master of public management. Please do inquire. I won't go into details of each one of these. Some of you know already what you want to study. Some want to go into master's straight because you do qualify. Others you want to start off at higher certificate or bachelor's, whichever. But we do need people to go into this field as well, because if you think about it, business sector won't function without public sector. So we do need public servants who are going to make the world a better place through serving, as they do. So that too requires a bit of understanding, a bit of knowledge, a bit of getting to know concepts, frameworks, legislation, as well as case studies, relevant in the School of Public Management within this framework of public sector. So again, I welcome you to please do inquire. We do welcome you. We hope you are here. And as I said earlier on, just make a decision and commit to it. The world will never be the same again. Your life will never be the same again. And your life will change forever. And changing your life means changing other people's lives. People around you, people in your organization, people in your family, people in your country. And that's how we make the world a better place. Thanks for the time, Pro-Web, and welcome.
Dean, thank you so much. And as you settle back in your seat, just to kind of re-emphasize some of the points that you speak of, what I've come to appreciate about Regenesys Business School is that it prepares you to be active in the global village immediately. I love that it's not only internationally recognized, but you also immediately exportable. The advent of the internet and also exposure to the rest of the globe has now made us competitors and players in the global world. So to be qualified and to be ready to take on the world, I think it really speaks volumes about the credibility of the qualification that you will leave with. So again, Dean, thank you so much, and another massive round of applause if you don't mind. I'm now going to introduce our guest speaker and distinguished guest who we are very privileged to be in the company of, especially at this time of year, being as busy. In fact, he was sharing with us upstairs that at one point he had up to 344 meetings in the year. So you can imagine what that schedule is like. So listen, we are truly, truly grateful. And Mr. Elijah is right down to his very core an educationalist, serving under the capacity of the spokesperson of the Department of Basic Education. He also sits as the Chief Director and Media Liaison, National and Provincial Communication at the Department of Basic Education. He is at the very heart of what government has a vision for the future of education, and we are honored to have him here. Folks, please join me. And you see, even the props are in awe of the great company that we are in. Join me and let's welcome Mr. Elijah Mplanga. A round of applause, please.
No, thank you very much, Program Director Pravep. Thank you so much. Good morning to everyone in the auditorium, and good morning to all those who are joining us online. Correction, the meetings I was telling you about, the 344 meetings, took place between March and April 2020, when we were battling the hard lockdown, and we were busy looking at options of what we do as a country to mitigate the COVID-19 impact. It was a very difficult situation because people felt we needed to close schools now. And when we closed schools, parents said, when are you opening schools? It was a complex decision that needed to be considered very carefully. So there was a lot of consultation at that time. So I was saying to them in the room upstairs that I remember at one point when I was preparing the speech for the minister to brief the media and the public, I actually counted the number of virtual meetings that we had held in that period leading to the decision being taken to reopen schools, that there were 344. It's not a year, it was just a matter of a few weeks. But how we got to that is the fact that I was saying that's how I got to pause my studies with Regenesys. So that is the context. But now, let me first thank you for inviting me. It's really an honor for me to be here. I don't take it lightly, but it was not a difficult decision to make because I graduated here as well. In fact, the story is that one Saturday morning, I went to the office at the Department of Basic Education very early. It was about 7 a.m. My chief director at the time, it was in 2013, 2014. My chief director at the time was Banyaza Lisufi, who is now the Premier of Gauteng. So I thought I was going to the office early to do some work, only to find that he was already in the office and he was studying. So I walked in, I looked at what he was doing, then I saw that he was studying with Regenesys, and he didn't tell anyone. I discovered by luck when I was in the office to do the communication-related work. So from then on, I got interested and I enrolled. The following year, I enrolled as well. And I did the BBA and completed. But what I want to say is that it was not easy. I also did not tell anyone. I studied quietly, just like he did. I didn't want the pressure, but it took a lot of what's the word? Perseverance. It was very difficult. My message to a young person is that if you passed matric this past year of 2022, please study now. Just continue and study. I'm not a fan of gap years. It's difficult to study and work at the same time. After I graduated here, I then enrolled for my master's. But because of COVID and other work-related challenges, it's been very slow. But what I need to say is that the support that Regenesys gives you is unparalleled. It's not anything that you'll get anywhere else. I'm saying this because I know. I met Banyaza at the University of Natal in Durban many years ago, 20-something years ago, where we were students. So I know how it is to be in that environment. I also recently studied something at VETS, so I know, and I have been here as well. So I can share that experience to say that the support that you'll get here makes it very difficult for you not to complete your studies. I think that I need to say. That's why I'm saying it was easy for me to come here because I wanted to get the opportunity and use it to talk about something that I know. It's my lived experience. You didn't pay me to say what I'm saying. So I want to say, if you want to study something that is of interest to you, something that is practical, come here. For me, in terms of my personal development as a manager, what I got here, I think I came to Regenesys to learn emotional intelligence. I work in a complex environment where people are swearing at me every day, but I have learned that the people who are swearing at me, they are a minority. The majority benefit from the things that I do. I am the entry point into the department. My number is available anywhere. You just type Elijah Mhlanga. The cell phone number is there. So I receive all sorts of messages from people. Some seek help, others just feel the need to insult me. But because of the lessons that I learned here in terms of understanding my role in society as a person, as a public servant, I understand that people go through challenges. Some of those people do not know how to channel the frustrations that they have. So if I didn't get that opportunity to learn how to place myself in the greater scheme of things, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I got the skills that I needed as a manager to understand my service, the role it plays in the public sector. That's why I took the opportunity to enroll for the Masters in Public Management, because I also wanted to deepen my understanding in that regard. So it has been very helpful, and I'm glad that I'm back on this year and I'll be studying again, and I look forward to interacting with Regenesys once again. But what I really want to say is that if you are a young person and you know where you're going, you really need to act now. Register right now. And here's the reason. So in 2022, we had 921,000 candidates who sat for the National Senior Certificate. That's your matric. And the minister announced 2 days ago that 579,000 of them, in fact, it's 580,000 of them, they passed. Of those that passed, 472,000 obtained bachelor's as well as diploma passes, which means they qualify to enter tertiary education. 472,814. That's the exact number of people, which is 65.1% of all those that wrote the exam. Where are the spaces? Tell me which institution has the capacity to accommodate all of those learners. So what I'm saying is that in this coming year, there's going to be yet another number of that type that will be coming to enroll. So if you take a gap year then you are creating a big problem for yourself. Please don't delay, act now, register now. The competition is very tight. So please use all the information that you're going to get here today. Log on to the website, read as much as you can. As I'm speaking to you today already, I'm getting lots of calls from parents who say, yes, my child got a bachelor, but the universities have declined their admission into medical school. 24 hours ago, we're celebrating the bachelors. Today, we are sad because the universities are acknowledging the bachelors, but at the same time, they're saying your bachelor is not good enough for you to be admitted to this course that you have chosen for yourself. Now the next question is, where to? So I'm saying the competition is very tight. There are lots and lots of people who have degrees but still cannot get employment. So it is important that we study, go to areas which are practical. I'm seeing a word there, it says skills programs. That's what we should be about. Study something that will take you to a path that will either give you an opportunity for entrepreneurship, or you will be able to get employment because you've got the skills. As the basic education sector, right now we are introducing something called the 3 streams model. So what it is that you are given an opportunity to either follow the academic stream, which is what most of us have followed, or the vocational stream, or the technical stream. We have introduced new subjects. By next year, we would have introduced 34 new subjects since 2016-2017 that are there in the curriculum that a lot of people are not aware of. It's very important that we continue to, disseminate messages around this. They are there, the learners are aware, but the problem is that when a learner comes home and says, I've taken technical maths and technical sciences, the parent will say, what is that? There's now civil technology, there's now agricultural technology. We are used to agricultural sciences, but now there are new subjects that are there. So please, as parents, let's also open our mind and understand that the environment has changed, the education landscape is also changing. I see also Regenesys is expanding. Malunga was telling me there that he's here working on the law school. It's something that was not there before. Now it's there, it's being introduced because there's an acknowledgement that the education landscape is changing and that we need to now create an environment where all our programs at tertiary institutions talk to the future needs of our economy. At basic education level, that work is already being done, but now we need to make sure that our young people and particularly the parents are aware of the changes that have taken place. So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to say this. I also just want to say as the last point that if you did not pass, please, it's not the end of the world. You have an opportunity to register, to rewrite. At basic education, we've got something called the matrix, the second chance matrix support program. If you want to upgrade, you are free to do so. You can register for that one subject that you're not happy with, and you can upgrade. But you also have an opportunity to ask for a remark for whatever subject that you're not happy with. But all of that requires you to act now and act today, just like what those colleagues there at the back are going to be telling you about the offering that Regenesys has for you. So thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Mr. Elijah, sir, thank you very much. And yes, I am going to ask you to hold on to the mic because I want to not only engage with you further. No, you're welcome to settle in your seat, but I am going to engage with you. But also, folks, if I can use this time to offer you an opportunity to engage with any of our panelists at this stage, even those joining us online, you're more than welcome to send your questions. We'll populate them and pose them to our panel. I was going to say, Mr. Elijah, on behalf of the department, I think, just to say we applaud the efforts the department is doing. And thank you so much. And I think that should definitely get a round of applause if you agree with me. And then in your own capacity, to discover that you still continue to pursue further learning, I think is really incredible, a master's at that. You did mention, though, that you're doing a BBA. So I am going to need a one-on-one because I'm busy with my second year now, so I'm going to need some tips. But I think on that note, as far as endorsements and as far as, confirming the credibility of the institution, it doesn't get any finer than that. So I think that should get a round of applause as well. Now, before I maybe start a little bit of a discussion, I just want to double check if there's anyone who has a burning question they would like to pose at this point. And perhaps while you formulate and think about what the question is, I'll maybe start a little bit of a discussion and say, Mr. Elijah, if I may start with you, we know in this country with the state of our economy and everything and the advent of COVID, there's many barriers of entry to higher learning. So maybe just set the picture for us as to how severe that is, and perhaps how some of that can be addressed and mitigated as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. There are lots of barriers. One is lack of information, but two is funding. That seems to be the biggest challenge. A lot of young people say they will not apply because they don't know how they are going to finance their studies. So it's worth exploring with the institutions that you want to apply at. I think I was watching on TV the other day that there's some innovation that Regenesys has. I don't know whether it was you. Yeah, I think I saw you on TV explaining some of those things. So there are assistance programs for those that are struggling to enter certain tertiary institutions, particularly looking at the funding opportunities. So you need to also, approach institutions. The important thing is to act now. You know what I was saying? Act now. If you're thinking about something, seek information, do as much research as you can. And yeah, you'll get the help that you need. In fact, as a young person today, access to information is the easiest, unlike our time. So research as much as possible and make sure that you go for it. Like I said, to me, it was by luck that I came across Lisufi, who was studying at that time, and I accessed my information in that way. But I didn't leave it there. I acted on it. So the important thing is that you need to act on it. You need to know what you want. You need to have a plan. It's very important. You need to have a desire, burning desire to be something in life. It's all possible.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad you referenced Indirani there, because it's a perfect segue to speak about this wonderful innovation.
So super passionate about this opportunity that we have to break the vicious cycle of poverty in South Africa and globally. So we have an initiative called Ed for All. Now we know the narrative, right? No money, no education, no job, no money, and it just perpetuates in the cycle. So Ed for All really wedges in between there. And I'm not talking about a student loan. I'm talking about an opportunity from an NPO that grants students an opportunity to study without having the burden of finances. So from as little as 500 Rand per month, you pay a portal fee, and you could be in the same class as Proverb. There isn't a separate class for you. You join online, whether it's a higher certificate, a bachelor qualification, and for the duration of your study, you pay 500 Rand, interest-free. Only once you get a job, then do you start paying back your student fees at prime plus 2%. Now, you know from those of you that even can afford education, and I mean can afford, but probably not premium education, right? That if you went in for a student loan, you could pay as much as 30 to 40% from the day that you register. Now, imagine for a 3-year degree, by the time you qualify, you've got a double amount of education and tuition fees to pay. Am I right? Now, here's an opportunity. So study now, pay later from as little as 500 Rand per month. We urge, I'm looking at online and all our students that are joining us, don't let finances be an obstacle to your education and your future. Join Ed for All. Thank you.
Indirani, perhaps you want to just remain there a little bit, because I
Sure.
want to interrogate this further, if I may. So wait a minute. Are you saying to me that for only 500 Rand, does this, am I limited to only particular courses? Is it open to everybody? What if my financial situation changes as it sort of happened? In other words, say I'm a sort of full-paying student, but my situation changes, you know.
We've helped
am
students.
I then
Yeah.
able to utilize this facility?
Absolutely. So we've done that over COVID. We saw that a lot of full-paying students that were in management positions were then impacted by retrenchments. There is a credit vetting process and financial viability to ensure that our full-paying students do not become Ed for All, right? But where you impacted financially for that semester, you move back onto Ed for All. So it's financially vetted every semester. So once you get a job, then you're going to have to become a full-paying student as well. But the fact that it's interest-free, Proverb, you know, I just think that there's no excuse not to study anymore.
Folks, I don't know if you are hearing all of this and if you shouldn't give it a massive round of applause right about now. Because that's a solution to a national crisis, am I right?
Absolutely. And because it's a global platform, you don't have to be sitting anywhere, right? Think of students that are sitting in other provinces. It's accommodation, it's transport, it's textbooks. It's all of these things over and above tuition fees that now is negated because you could be anywhere. As long as you've got a smart device with you, you can study online. Now, what about every student here? Surely you know 5 students that cannot afford education. And you're privileged. You know, you shouldn't feel guilty for being privileged. Well done to you. But you could lend a helping hand to those that don't know about this, that while you being educated, we're educating other people along with you.
Now, Indrani, as you know, I am equally passionate about, you know, education. Both my folks are very qualified folks. I am pursuing my qualification. You know, my long-term dream, by the way, is to get an MBA. Ne?
Well,
so
he
whoever
doesn't let
else
his
is on
parents
that
down.
path,
Let me tell you,
let's
both, I'm going to interrupt him. Both his parents have PhD. So he cannot let them down with an MBA, Proverb.
The
No
pressure.
ways.
The pressure, I tell you. And what do I do? Talk for a living. Anyway. So, Indrani, you and I have put our minds together, and we've come up, and you mentioned and alluded to it earlier on, but I want you just to speak a little bit more about it, if you don't mind perhaps repeating some of the points. We spoke about this discount that we're offering,
Absolutely.
this link that I'm going to put on my various platforms. Just tell us a little bit more about it.
So just for attending the open day across all platforms and registering today, you get 10% discount on your fees, right? I spoke about the 20%, so there'll be a certain qualification. When you inquire with our recruitment team, they'll tell you which one that's applicable for. But we wanted to address this crisis today. What is the crisis? Matric results got announced. We have students that are caught up with excellent results, euphoria of bright futures, and that's the haves. And then we have the have-nots, right, that don't get great results, and there's in there those that get good results but just cannot afford education. And we looked at the numbers and the stats with Mr. Elijah, and when he said 62% of our current students, and we're only talking 2022 matriculants, right? What about 2021, 2020? We're talking over millions of students. I was shocked when I looked at there were 4.3 million applications for university. In public institutions, there's only 163,000 places available. NAFSAS gives about 200,000 bursaries. Am I right? Is it 200 or 20,000? 200,000 bursaries. You do the maths. You do the maths. You don't have to be one of our finance students here, right? We're talking about 4 million students that won't be able to access funds, right? And of 62% that didn't get the bachelor qualification, it means that we've got about 500 students currently that need to get a bachelor qualification to further their education. So as our give back, not even Ed for All, as our give back at Regenesys Business School, today we're giving 30% for the highest certificate qualification. Proverb will be posting on his Instagram and Twitter accounts and all his social media platforms. There'll be a link. Click on his link because actually it's his negotiation for the 30% for these students, right? So we really want to thank him for this. He really squeezed us on this one. So in partnership with Proverb, this is his 30% that he's endorsing today. So click on his link and qualify for your highest certificate discount.
Wonderful. Indrani, once again, thank you so much. You're more than welcome to take a seat.
Thank you, everyone.
I just want to double check before I release my panel. Anyone have a burning question that you want to ask? Please do remember that they will remain for a little bit. So if you want to engage even beyond the official program, you're also more than welcome to. And we also have our staff here as well that you're more than welcome to engage with. I'm going to be here for a little bit as well if you want to chat, perhaps from a student kind of point of view. I'm happy to engage and interact. Before I maybe officially close proceedings, Dean, I didn't maybe give you an opportunity, any kind of closing words and just parting shots and words of wisdom?
Thank you, Proverb. Mr. Mhlanga talked about student support. Maybe I can just touch on that. We have launched and we will be reintroducing what we call Academic Center of Excellence. In short, we call it ACE. So that's where we provide our students with both academic support, and also we do have administrative support by our teams that are responsible for that. The Academic Center of Excellence really assists students with academic writing, with literacy, with all that's related to higher education, RIGA in terms of academics. And so it's got dedicated tutors and faculty, senior faculty members who will be there to support you. They won't write your assignments for you, but they will guide you. They'll support. Some of our students come from backgrounds where they need a bit of support, and not only them. Others may be individuals who've been out of the higher education space for a while and maybe rusty in terms of the rigor of academic writing. And so we're here to make sure that we support those students. It's in our best interest to allow you to be successful. So yeah, that's what I can add. Thank you.
Dean, thank you so much. And please allow me to then extend my full gratitude to our panel.
Thank you.
I believe we've got some engagement. All right, I'll run and don't you worry, I've got it. How are you, sir? Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you so much, Prophet. Good morning, everyone. Okay. I just thought I should also congratulate Dr. Mhlanga and the department for a job well done. We truly appreciate the work that you do as a department. And I know you don't get this most of the time, but we see what you do. In the past number of years that we have had our democracy, this is the second highest, if I'm correct. So truly appreciate the work that you're doing. I think to Indrani, this flexi payment system, if people are here today, do they have to pay all these big amounts that they're worried about today for them to be part of the students?
Absolutely not.
And if I may, just so that we can understand whether, if our pockets are not full right now, it's January, right? So maybe give us a sense of whether there's a flexible arrangement for us to get registered and start studying today. But maybe just the last question to Ntate Mhlanga. What is the future of online studying look like in the country? Is it going to open up? I've seen UCT does an online matric and there's a few more. But what about even at higher education? Online studying, is the department looking at that broadly in terms of just increasing the scope for institutions to do online learning? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question about online, because it became a huge issue in 2020 when the minister was saying we need to open schools. Even during COVID, a lot of parents took their children out of school and they took them to home education and got them enrolled in some online institutions at basic education level. That forced us to also get to work to fast track something that we're already thinking about, and we therefore created a framework for online education. There are certain things there that we have had to look at, especially to protect the interests of parents who are the people that pay fees. So we needed to say, how then do we make sure that we regulate these schools, because normal schooling is regulated in terms of the South African Schools Act. So when an online school registers and there's an issue that a parent wishes to raise with that institution, where do they go? So we are looking into that, but the initial proposal is that where the online school is based, it would need to register with the provincial education department there, so that its offices become the place of contact in case there's a matter that needs to be dealt with by the parent. But there are other challenges as well. I mean, I don't think I should mention this, but online schools, I don't want to mention this particular one. They've had some challenges in the past year because the learners are exposed to an environment where they are on their own. You learn on your own. There's no teacher in front of you. And the support, even that contact immediately that you are used to is not there. The marking, there were all sorts of issues regarding that. So that's on the academic support side. So there are real challenges there, but it's something that we are looking into, discussing with the relevant suppliers of such services. But it's still some distance to cover. It's not as simple as we think.
Thank you, Mr. Elijah. So Regenesys is committed to assist you with that because we've also gone through the transition of online learning. And I think it's something that we're invested in and something that we can support from our own learnings with online challenges. Thank you very much. And thank you. At the risk of getting thrown off the stage, I have to let you know who that humble gentleman in his funky clothes, that's our co-owner and founder, Mr. William Vivian, that I mentioned earlier when he was not in the room. I do say at the risk of being thrown off the stage. So thank you very much, Mr. Viv, and thanks, Elijah. The question about January. Yeah, it's that time, and I'm sure when I look at you, there's some matriculants here. I can see there's a family with 2 kids here as well. The whole family's come for this enrollment. Well done. I asked the kids earlier, because I didn't see the parents, and I went, are you registering today? And the little girl went, yes, I'm joining today. And I thought, okay, I'm waiting for this one. So I can see that. And yeah, school fees, January recovery. So all you have to do is pay your application fee to secure this discount today. Now, that allows you to be registered as a student, and that's 1,100 Rand. Secure this discount that you're getting, because it's a big discount into your own pocket. And that's what I'm encouraging. We have flexi plans available for you, but securing it is your discount secured today. Securing it over and above your discount is your place where there's limited seats as well for some of our qualifications, like our LLB and our BComt and our MBA classes, right? You don't want to lose that seat that will get you into your next journey as well. So that's all we're asking for today. Secure that, and then you'll make arrangements with our recruitment team at the back for your first installment to make sure that you start your journey with us. So definitely you don't need to pay your full fees up front, but for those that do pay your full fee up front, there is a further discount for you as well. So it just depends, you know, how you want to do with it. It's not the lotto here today, but it could very well be Tata Ma Chance, right? Tata Ma Million. So I encourage you to figure out where your million lies in how you choose. But we definitely have options for you, so don't you worry this January, okay? Good luck, and I look forward to seeing every one of you, whether it's a year from now, 3 years from now, or 4 years from now, walking down the carpet, getting graduated, and you'll have program director and founder, Mr. William Vivian, who takes our graduation to another level. So I'm looking forward to future graduates of Regenesys with us, Proverb.
Indeed, I am too, and I'm looking forward to being one of those in the run. Just before I officially close the program, just to offer a last opportunity for anyone who perhaps has a burning question, wants to engage. But again, a friendly reminder that you're more than welcome to engage even beyond the program. Going once, going twice. And with that, please allow me to officially close the program and thank you all, starting with my esteemed panel. Thank you for those joining us online, the parents, the students, and our staff. I really do appreciate your time this morning. Sincerely hope that from here we can begin what is to be our future. So thank you all so much. Have a fantastic day further. Please continue to engage even online. Don't forget the various social media handles and platforms and hashtags. And even those that are just joining us, you're more than welcome to as well. The information continues to flow. So again, thank you so much. My name is Proverb, and I'm out. Cheers.
Let's give it a round of applause to this star today. Proverb, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for gifting us this pleasure of your program direction today. Another round of applause for this superstar that's joined us. And good luck with your studies 2023.
Laws from South Africa with Regenesys Law School. The program is specifically designed with a holistic approach. which helps our students develop a deep understanding of legal processes, methodologies, and principles enshrined in the Constitution. We